Hello. Welcome to our Mindset Monday, our live video that I offer every Monday to anyone who is looking for support regarding life. And for me, life has been a little bit more sad lately than normal. One of those things that we have to go through in life, and that is grieving the loss of a loved one. And so today I am here showing up in the present moment, moving through my grief to find the goodness, to find the opposite of that pain. Being human, from what I've learned in my journey, is all about the duality, So, how could we ever feel the beauty of love, the beauty of a connection or a loved one, the feeling of that, if we didn't know the loss and the pain from it? So I think it's a really important one to share with everyone today, because we all have to go through this at some point in our lives. And there is something to be learned. There is a gift. There is value no matter what. And I think when we focus on the positive, that's when we heal, when we find the gifts. I do also believe it's very important to allow the grief to flow through you, to feel it, to let it flow through, to let the energy release from your physical body. Because I know for myself in the past, I have been one to run from my problems because it's too painful, to hide from the grief, to numb the pain. And let me tell you, it'll still get you, no matter what. I think that it's nice to have certain supports for myself. Sometimes it's nice to just, if there's like panic setting in or something like that, we have things that we can use in the world, but it's not meant to be a way of healing. So, of course, this is all my experience, and that's where I want everyone who jumps on here to take what you like and leave the rest. You have every right to grieve the way you need to grieve, and I have absolutely no judgment on the way that you choose to grieve. I am hoping that in my grieving, in my learning through the grief process, I might have something to offer you. That's kind of how I look at life, is I go through hard stuff so I can offer other people that support. So today, the reason I'm grieving, if any of you don't know, is because I lost my little puppy, Humphrey. And so if you know me or if you follow me at all, you would know that Humphrey was a huge part of my life. He's in a lot of my videos. He's, of course, like our animals are, was my little best friend. So losing him is painful, and we have to allow the grief to come, to release when it wants to. But I find that I also can be a person who wallows in my grief too much sometimes, and then it leaves me a little bit paralyzed, where I just feel like depressed, or I can't move, or I can't function in my life, and then my life starts to suffer because of it. So now I can tell you that I've come to a place with my yoga therapy tools that I can get through it more easily, with more flow, with more grace. And I have so many tools to share with you that can help support you move from grief to gratitude. And so one of them is, I offered in my program, one of the main things that we work with in the program is we talk about vibration and how we are all energetic beings, and we have a certain vibration. And our lowest vibration is to sit in a place of blame or shame. Grief is a very low vibration as well. Sadness, anger, all of these kind of really uncomfortable places to be are the lowest vibration we can sit in. And it's not to say that we shouldn't sit there. I think it's important to allow ourselves to be whatever we are. But we can find tools to help us move out of that, because sometimes we don't have the tools or know how to. And that, I think, is what kept me stuck in that low vibration. And they say that the opposite vibration, that's the higher vibration of grief, the flip side of that, in that duality of living, we would never have, if I didn't have Humphrey, if I was never blessed with him as this beautiful little soul, this like full of love, I've never felt such unconditional love, I wouldn't be in this place of grieving, right? So I would give up every single day. I would go through this pain every single day to still have had that time with Humphrey. Even though it was short, at least I had it. So I feel emotion coming up, so I'm just gonna let it come up when it comes up. So one of the things that we can do when we're feeling this way is breathe, of course, because our grief is in the heart, which is around the lungs. So I'm gonna do a 3-6 breath. So feet flat on the floor, sit nice and tall. Inhale through the nose, exhale out of the mouth. Now that's a cleansing breath, so that can help to release anything that's kind of stuck in you. It can also help to cool the body down. And I'm moving into a 3-6 breath or an extended exhale. And so I actually have a video that Humphrey's in, the extended exhale video. So you can inhale. And then when you exhale, let all of your air out. So you want your exhale to be longer than your inhale. Totally empty. So we're going to do this together for 1 minute. Inhaling through the nose and then exhaling completely out of the nose or mouth. So staying in the present moment, connecting to the breath, can bring us back into the present moment. And I think that's a big part of where I could get stuck in the past, is thinking about what I don't have and what it was, rather than being in the present moment and just feeling what is. So that's about a minute. You can definitely do this for longer if it feels like it's serving you. A minute for me is around 5 to 6 breaths. And I suggest doing this breath at times of stress, at times of lower vibration, at times of fear. It helps to calm the amygdala. So that's a part of the brain that fires when it feels like there's a threat. So even our memories or our thoughts can put us into that state, even though I'm sitting in a room right now totally safe, there's no threat, and my mind or my thoughts might take me to a place that it feels like I'm in that place, that there is a threat, there is that grief or that loss, that missing. And so a lot of it is also our thoughts. And so to reframe our thoughts, that's the first step, right? Is to notice when we're kind of maybe in this, for me, kind of a loop of how much I miss him. Why did he get taken from me so soon? He was only 5, all of these things that go through my mind. And that's a really negative way to look at it. When in fact, I could look at it and say, I was so blessed to have had him for 5 years. He brought so much joy to my life. He showed me what love is. And then I think with my practice, with my yoga therapy practice, I'm also able to reconnect to unity, to the fact that we are all that love. We are essentially all that same unconditional love within ourselves, and we can then recognize it in each other. And so there's different stages that you're in as you grieve, right? So the beautiful thing about the yoga practice is it gives us tools to address whichever stage that is. And that's what I show you in the online program most definitely, especially how to turn off the amygdala, to reframe the thoughts, and to bring in support. Because I think we forget how important support is as well. And to find what feels good, the things that bring you joy, the things that lift you up, the things that give you peace. And so I'm going to share with you a few of the things that I've been using over the last 5 days, just to kind of show you what I'm doing. Again, take what you like and leave the rest. Try them on, see what works for you, see what doesn't, and figure out what your supports are, what tools work for you, so you have that toolbox when you go through these harder times in life. So one of the things that I use obviously is the breath, so breath work, and we go through quite a deep dive into what pranayama is and what a breathing exercise is, how it affects the body, how it affects the mind, how it affects your energy, and how you can use it as a tool to support you in your life. I have a whole section dedicated to support. So what does that mean to you? Like, especially even in our practice, yoga therapy, we bring in a lot of props and a lot of support, because there is something that as soon as we support the body with those props, there's this feeling of being able to let go, to feel supported, even by Mother Earth, right? Even by the earth on your mat, a place where the earth or something has your back, right? So that's part of the practice too. And we go through that in depth as well. So for me, support is my practice. I know that my practice is supportive to my life, and so I infuse my life with it. My loved ones, the ones that I know are there truly out of love. They're there to support me and be there in these times where, I'm going through something hard, and I can lean on them. I can trust that I can lean into that support with them. And then another one for me is mudras. And so mudras, sometimes in our practice, or some days it doesn't feel like I don't feel like getting on my mat. So a mudra is a way to realign your energy in the body without needing to move. And so sometimes that's nice if we don't have the energy, maybe our vitality is just not there, and we just need to kind of realign the energy. And so depending on what stage you're at in your grief, you can pick a mudra that's supportive. And I have mudras that I offer for free on my YouTube channel. So if you want to check them out, I share with you there where I get them, how I practice them, and you can infuse your life or your day with those as well. So some of them are for the heart. Of course, grief is all about our heart chakra. It's all about the energy of the heart. And you literally feel like your heart is breaking when we're going through loss, right? So healing the heart, allowing the heart to balance the energy of the heart. We can use different mudras to do that. And so if any of you out there are wanting support in any of these ways, please reach out to me. I can offer you different things, different ideas. There's so many different options for the heart. Another one is for invigorating ourselves with more enthusiasm or with more vitality, because I think grief can be depressing. It can really press us down energetically. So if you're kind of sick of being in that place and you want to get yourself up and out and you just don't know how, you can use a mudra. You can try different ones on. You can see what feels good and see if it actually does energize you. Same with breath work. It's the same thing. We can use breath work to actually lift our energy up and kind of reset it in the body and mind. Another one is once we kind of get through those and we use those and we feel like, okay, now I'm ready to kind of transform into this different state of life. I have to move into my life now without Humphrey. I have to have a life where I'm not just thinking about how I'm missing him, or it's a new place to be, and it doesn't mean it has to be a bad thing, right? We have to, for me, I have faith and trust that it was meant to be. For whatever reason, it's just, this is the next stage of life for me, and I need to embrace it, accept it, allow it, and support myself to move into it. And so there's mudras for that as well, to kind of help you through transition or through transformation. And then there's also mudras to help for more easeful breathing. A lot of people who are in grief or really suffer from grief end up with asthma. They end up with ailments of the heart and lungs. Smokers, they're often on a subconscious level, a deep level, there's a lot of grief. And so we tend to smoke something to kind of soothe. And in the end, it doesn't really support us, but maybe in the moment it does. Again, no judgment. I'm just saying these are some of the signs that there could be grief there for you. And so another support I like to bring in is Easy Air. And it's essential oil. And I find them super therapeutic and supportive whenever I'm going through different stages of not feeling good, I guess. So Easy Air is a blend, or it's called Breathe if it's in the States. And it is supportive physically for people who have asthma or ailments of the lungs. And then on the emotional level, see, I'm just kind of rubbing it on my chest. It's supportive as well. So I'm going to read a little blurb about it from this book called Essential Emotions. And it's all about different essential oils that support you on an emotional level as well. And so it's pretty neat how they can actually transition your well-being or your state of mind, your state of being, almost immediately. So I use them in my classes all the time. I offer them at the beginning of class. And what happens is that the smell goes into the limbic system, and the center of the brain, which is responsible for your emotions. And we store our emotional memories there. And so as soon as we smell something, you have an emotional response. So it actually changes what's happening in the brain. So you feel different. And so that's why they're so kind of magical in the way that you just smell them and they actually support you. So this one, Breathe, or Easy Air, I'll just read the write-up on it just so you can get an idea of how it supports you. So Breathe addresses the inability to let go of grief and pain. Individuals in need of Breathe struggle to take a breath and literally feel suffocated by sadness. The lungs and air passages become constricted, preventing air and emotion from releasing. The root of this condition is feeling unloved, Individuals grieve the love they never received. They often shut down due to fear, not knowing whether the love they need will be there. They distrust whether it's safe to open and take in life. Breathe encourages individuals to release grief and sadness and to receive genuine love and healing. Breathe also supports one's relationships with spirit and deepens one's connection to life. It invites individuals to let go, breathe out, and receive, breathe in. In this way, this blend teaches individuals to embrace life through breath. Breathe imbues individuals with the courage to fully open. So it's pretty powerful stuff for me. I really enjoy the oils. I find them very supportive. So that is one support that you could try on. See if it works for you. See if it supports you. If not, let it go. But there's lots of things out there that can be there to support us rather than just turning to those things that tend to maybe affect us more negatively in the end. And so another way that I support myself is through finding joy, right? Finding what feels good. So that might be spending time with friends or family. That might be watching a comedy, something that makes you laugh. It could be a walk in nature. And so I'm going to challenge you right now to think of 3 things that bring you joy. Okay, so 3 things that you know will bring you joy. So think of those 3 things. If you want to share, you're so welcome to share. I know it's, a hard thing to share sometimes. I was going through that myself today. I was like, okay, I can do it. I am brave, right? So it's all how we think. So feel free to share if you choose. 3 things that you find bring you joy. So what happens when we have those joyous feelings or reactions in life is we release oxytocin, and it's a chemical in the brain that is the same chemical that's released when we fall in love, when we feel love. So of course with our animals, we feel this like deep love, unconditional love, like it's nothing else that we could ever sometimes connect to. We feel it with our partners sometimes. We feel it with our children, with our loved ones, our family. And when we release that oxytocin, that chemical actually counteracts pain in the body. So if you're dealing with chronic pain and you're stuck in kind of depression, anxiety cycles of not knowing how to get out in this kind of loop of negativity, just by focusing on what brings you joy and finding the courage to do it, or using the tools to support you to get there. If you can't get up, start working with the mudras and the breath work to, reset your energy. If you are overtaken by sadness, allow it to flow and then use a breath work. There's different tools that we can infuse into our day. If your thoughts are super negative, notice them, write them down, get them out of you, and then find the equal and opposite positive affirmation that can support you instead. And again, if you need support or help doing this, you don't know how, reach out. That's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do. So oxytocin being just kind of a healer. Joy is simply a healer. And so if we can infuse our day with a minimum of 3 things, you could start with 1 if you're finding 3 is too much, but get to a point where you have a minimum of 3 things in your day that bring you joy. Watch your life start to transform, right? So one more thing I'll share with you that 2 more things actually, that I really find support me when I'm feeling those lower vibrations of grief, sadness, anger, depression, whatever it might be, blame, shame. I use music, and music is a vibration as well, right? So depending what the music is, Sometimes it will almost exacerbate my pain if it's too sad, or maybe the words or the lyrics are a little more on the negative side and they keep me in it, then I switch it up. And for me, what I've found is super supportive is listening to chanting. And I know this might sound a little bit crazy to some. Again, like I said, is take what you like, leave the rest. But there is science behind chanting. And so the Sanskrit language, the language of yoga, it's no longer used in the world, but it's other than with yoga. Nobody speaks it. It was a language that died, but it's actually called the mother language. And people use it in healing, in chanting, in yoga. And each vibration, each sound has a vibration. And that sound vibration goes directly into whichever chakra, whichever energy center that it is meant for in your body. So each chakra has a different sound, one syllable sound. And so for the heart, you could chant the sound, I think it's ha. Ha. You can kind of feel it vibrate in your heart, right? So if I don't feel like doing it myself, I'll listen to some beautiful sounds of chanting. And one of my favorites is Deva Premal. And I saw them live when I was in Calgary living there, and it was just so uplifting and so peaceful and so calming. And it's amazing that I ended up coming kind of back around to it, because it was one of those things in life that was just kind of mind-blowing how much of an effect it had on the whole room. And so again, if you're looking to explore that in your own life, reach out. I can hook you up with free ways to listen to what she's got. You can check her out on your own, Deva Premal, DevaPremal, and I can put it in the comments after. And I find that very cleansing, very uplifting, kind of releasing any of the dark energy from within. And then it kind of resets my body into a higher vibration. And so I find it very healing. And I think that's why we connect to music, is it can be very healing. So whatever music that is for you, you don't have to chant, it's just what I do. But finding some sort of sound vibration, that's why they also have those sound healing chakra bowls. There's different courses that you can find out there for sound healing. It's a very powerful way to clear our nadis, our energy channels. We have 72,000 of them moving through the body. So when we're in these lower vibrations, they can be pretty messed up, right? So we want to kind of reset them and clear them so that the body and mind can function more optimally, and we can move on with the joys of life. So that's it for me today. That's pretty much all I have to share. Oh, and meditation. I love meditation. Meditation is a way for me to feel more connected to my lost loved ones, to go to the memories of, the good, to feel them around, right? Feel their spirit. And one of my favorite guided meditation teachers, who, if you're not used to meditating, I think she's just the best. She's my absolute favorite, is Sarah Blondin. And she is found on Insight Timer. It's a free app that you can use. And she has tons of beautiful, beautiful meditations. So check that out, see if it fits. And if not, try something different. Explore, see what works for you. But find your joy. Okay. If anyone has any last comments or questions, thanks for joining, everyone. I see you all there. Desiree, Nancy, Nadia, Amber, thanks for joining, guys. It's nice to see you guys all here. And remember to focus on the good. There's always a positive with every negative, and we can revamp our brain and our life by focusing on the good. Okay, so take care. Have a wonderful day, and watch for the video drop on Friday. Probably something to do with grief and gratitude. So if you'd like a free video, it'll be dropped into YouTube on Friday, a free practice. And in the meantime, this one will be there to rewatch as well. Take care, guys. Have a wonderful day.